Hi, I'm Becca with the Texas Blockchain Council, an advocacy group for all things Bitcoin and blockchain innovation in Texas. I'm joined today on the Bitcoin Brew with my co-host Amy. Before we get started, if you want to go ahead and like and follow our YouTube channel, we'd really appreciate it. And as a disclaimer, none of what we say here should be taken as financial advice. All right, Amy, let's go.
Thank you, Becca. All right, well, I wanted to bring back up something we highlighted last week about the Terra Luna situation. It's developing as we speak, but what we know now is that it seems that 80,000 Bitcoin were moved. 80,000 Bitcoin, which is worth $3.5 billion, was sold to peg the UST, and it has been emptied in a last-ditch effort to save the coin. As of Monday, Luna had only 313 Bitcoin remaining, and they claim they're going to compensate the remaining users. TPC company Elliptic, they have been kind of sleuthing around. Their objective is to prevent any kind of crime, crypto crimes, and to find out the whereabouts of the money. And here's what we know. Luna purchased the Bitcoin between January and March in an effort to maintain a one-to-one fixed rate. Luna then moved some of the Bitcoin to a single Gemini account, and the remainder was transferred to Binance. Tom Robinson, who's chief scientist at Elliptic, says it is not possible to trace the movement of the funds beyond those two wallets. Then, interestingly enough, Vitalik Buterin piped in, and he's proposing that the poorest of the wallets, that would be about 99.6 of the poorest wallets, should be reimbursed. What are your thoughts here?
Well, it's interesting to me that Vitalik is jumping in on this. You would think he would want to kind of keep his distance a little bit.
It does seem like he's a little out of his lane, but I appreciate it because he's looking out for the small hodlers. He doesn't necessarily have a bone to pick with the whales, but he feels like maybe some of the smaller wallets could have been tricked or confused by some of the crypto influencers out there. Mm-hmm. Apparently there's some not so good ones out there.
Well, we gotta keep a lookout for those.
Absolutely. The goal is to reimburse all of the initial deposits of the UST holders, and the goal would be to greatly improve the morale and sentiment in the crypto market, because as we saw from last week, I mean, this had a rippling effect and everybody felt it. So perhaps that's why he has his 2 cents that he's offering in this whole ordeal.
True, yeah, that's really good. I mean, we're even gonna move right into more ripple effects of the fallout because in US regulation, Gary Gensler of the SEC said a couple of days ago that they are outmanned in crypto, which I just think is, I don't know, it's funny to me that he's just now saying this because obviously this is true. And they're looking to throw millions of dollars, and they want to hire more staff to kind of combat, they're saying, cybercrime, which is, you know, respectable, it needs to be addressed. However, they are kind of looking specifically at NFTs, DeFi platforms, stablecoins, of course. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens with all of that, because there's some really great people out there, politicians such as Senator Lummis, Senator Cruz, Senator Gillibrand from New York, who have done a really great job of talking to their colleagues about the dangers of overregulation in this space, and really kind of getting the word out that less is going to be more and how important this technology is. I think as a whole, central banks and governments are really kind of waking up to the fact that this technology is not going anywhere, and that it's actually expanding quite rapidly, probably more rapidly than they realized. And so even early, like I think a few days ago, the European Central Bank said that they are working on a digital euro, also known as a CBDC. I have a lot of thoughts on CBDCs, but I mean, it's just so interesting to watch. And they said that they're hoping to roll it out in the next 4 years. And I know that they're not the only ones who are working on that right now.
Oof, I'm hung up on a word you said, that the SEC was outmanned. Mm-hmm. I think that just means we need to bring some more women on staff. What do you think?
I mean, I'm a big fan of Hester Peirce. She's done a wonderful job. I think there's a few other women on the board, so yes, I think that would be great.
But honestly, also what you were saying about the stable coins, in all of this that was going on, did a deep dive, and I learned there's three kinds of stable coins.
Okay.
You've got the fiat-backed, you've got the crypto-backed, and then you have the algorithmic. And each of these coins has their own pros and cons. And I think that before people really jump into the market, they need to do their due diligence, and there needs to be good resources that people can go to learn about these things before, making any move of their money and investing.
Absolutely.
Are you ready for my topic?
I'm so ready.
Okay. Topic number 3, we have a global crypto think tank in the works. It's been created by Coinbase Global, and they're calling it the Coinbase Institute. Its goals include publishing peer-reviewed research, collaborating with policymakers and thought leaders, and creating a monthly crypto report.
Okay.
They're also tasked with conducting a survey to gauge household adoption and the attitudes towards cryptocurrency in partnership with the University of Michigan. University of Michigan, side note, is well renowned for their survey. Apparently they just know how to craft them and do them, and then put together a report afterwards.
Okay.
Side note, sorry. Notable members of the group include Hermione Wong, a former SEC and State Department staffer. She's Coinbase's head of policy. Dr. Cesar Francazzi, who is on the blockchain initiative here on the TBC board, and he's also a University of Texas professor. The Institute's advisory board includes professors from lots of prominent universities, MIT, Harvard, Duke, and Johns Hopkins. And they've wasted no time. They're already tackling a hot topic in crypto and the climate. This report justifies high energy use and claims that mining promotes energy efficiency and thus long-term sustainability. So I am going to read that report. I can link it in the show notes, but it really, I think, kind of dissolves a lot of the false narrative around that whole energy and crypto.
I think that's super interesting. Based on just what I've heard, it seems like that is such an important topic because this technology can be such a world changer if we can get past the energy, I think, misconceptions, because Bitcoin mining alone is, I think, more green than like any other industry, which is amazing, and I hope it continues and even increases the percentage of green energy usage. But yeah, I'm so glad that they're tackling that.
Me too, and I agree with you. I think we are seeing a really big outpouring of alternate energy use coming alongside with our standard energy. So much to look forward to.
Yeah. So our final topic that we're going to talk about today is just with all the market madness and volatility and in the news and all around us is inflation. Bitcoin users are really doing a great job of educating their friends, talking about it, and pulling their Bitcoin off of exchanges and into cold storage and self-custody. So a few days ago, it was reported that there are over 10 million wallet addresses, which is just a really incredible benchmark, because each one of those addresses is holding at least $300 US worth of Bitcoin, which is a significant number just to kind of let us know where the market's headed and where mass adoption is headed. I think the more that the general public can understand the history of money, our current fiat system, why Bitcoin is better, that we're going to only see that number just explode in the near term. So I think another point to bring up is that the 10 million number doesn't necessarily signify that it's individual users, because you can own more than one wallet. Industrial size companies can buy wallets. However, it's just an important number to kind of look at where the market's going. And I think in the US, it's hard sometimes to really fully understand the importance of Bitcoin, why it matters, why you need to get educated about it, because we live in such a crazy privileged society. But if you live in poverty, if you live in a country that your currency is being devalued, to have a currency that you can hold, that cannot physically be taken away, cannot be frozen, it can't be manipulated by markets, it's just a total game changer for the well-being of those people and all of us. And I think we're just going to see it play out more and more to really make the world better.
Oh, Becca, you're always on fire when you talk about Bitcoin. I love that about you. But
I
do want to
cannot
get
help it.
I know, you just exudes out of every pore. Is this what they mean by a bear market, when people pull off their holdings, or?
So no, that's talking about a different situation. So the bear market's going to be the price going down, actually. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. I think institutional buy-in is probably the #1 reason why we're seeing such a significant bear market right now. With the market the way that it is, interest rates going up, people they need cash, they need liquidity, so they're going to pull it off of something that's a little bit more volatile, especially more of the traders and not the hodlers, as they say. If you're just going to hold your Bitcoin, it doesn't really matter where the price is at, because you're going to be a long-term player. But if people, if you need that liquidity, then they're going to pull it off. And it is a bear market, and that's okay. We're gonna, it's gonna go up and down, but I think in the long run, it's gonna go up. For sure, it will.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's where my journey in crypto started, is a deep dive into the history of fiat, and really where the pitfalls are with that, and how Bitcoin is able to sort of circumnavigate those, with it being digital, decentralized, traceable, and then lastly that there is a limited supply. So what other highlight am I missing? Because you hit a bunch of them in your spiel.
Yeah, I think you hit the main ones though. Yeah.
This has been a great show today. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so wrapping up, we have a few announcements, a few events. The TBC will be at Consensus, which is a big conference in Austin, June 9th through the 12th. We'll be hosting 2 events. The first one is June 9th, and we're partnering with the Digital Chamber of Commerce, and that's an open event, free, open to the public. Amy and I will be there, so if you're there, please come say hi. And then the second event is going to be June 10th, and this is a luncheon, panel discussion. We're partnering with Haynes and Boone, and it'll be talking about banking and Bitcoin mining. If you're interested in coming, it's a ticketed event, and so you can email Steve Kennard. His email should be at the bottom of our screen or in the show notes, and you could just email him in order to get tickets. All right, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.